morning, everyone. A very warm welcome on behalf of ISNCRC to all our new students of PGDM and PGDM Pharmaceutical Management. We also welcome all the parents who are now part of our extended family and the management, faculty and staff of ISMCRC. We are indeed meeting today under very strange times. In the last few months, we have all seen paradigm shifts taking place in fundamental ways of living and working. Dear students, times of crisis are always times of creativity and innovation. So we have high hopes from each one of you, the future bankers, the future marketeers, the future operations professionals, the future data scientists, and the future business leaders who are joining ISNCRC today as part of our PGDM and PGDM Pharmaceutical Management Program. Once again, a very warm welcome to each one of you as we begin the inaugural function for the batch of 2020-22 today. All auspicious beginnings begin with an invocation to Ma Saraswati. So, I request that all of us offer our prayers to Ma Saraswati, the goddess of wisdom, as I request our director, Dr. Dinesh D. Harsolekar, to please come on the stage and light the lamp. Sir, please.
या शुभ्रवस्त्रान्विता या वीणा वरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेत पद्मासना या शंकर प्रकृति देवै सदा पूजिता सा सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, dear students, parents, staff, and faculty. So, with this auspicious start, I now request our director, Dr. Dinesh D. Harsolekar, to please come and address the students. Sir, please.
Dear students, parents, faculty members of IAS Management College and Research Center, staff members, our management, a very good morning to all of you and welcome to this inaugural ceremony of our 2022 batch of PGDM and PHARMA Management Program. All of us know last night we had a very unfortunate and tragic air accident in which around 17-18 people died. We pray to Almighty that their souls rest in peace and we share the grief of the bereaved families. Friends, it's my privilege, my pleasure to congratulate all of you for getting admission in IAS Management College and Research Center. When we started our admission campaign in the month of December, neither we had thought nor you had thought that the inaugural function will be a virtual function. We expected that we will be welcoming all of you in the campus, but that could not happen. This tells us the life is full of uncertainties. As management students, you will start learning how we deal with these kind of uncertainties in our life. When you take admission into IAS Management College and Research Center, I am happy to tell you, you are not becoming a part of this single institution that is Management College, but you are going to become a part of a very, very huge family having a legacy of more than 100 years. The family is as big as 40,000 students, 2,000 teachers, 17, 18 campuses, and 64 schools and colleges. So friends, we are really proud to be a part of this organization, and I'm sure when you become a part of this organization, you will also be proud of it. What is the purpose of this inaugural function? The purpose of inaugural function to tell you in brief about the society, about the college. But I'm sure during these last few months, all of you must have seen our website, visited the website, you must have gone through the content. You also must have seen the video film of the management college. So therefore, I don't want to repeat all those things because you know everything about the college by now, and you know everything about the parent body, that is our society, Indian Education Society. I hope that all of us will get out of this difficult situation of this worldwide pandemic, and soon we will be able to come to the campus and we will be able to meet each other, and we shall be able to communicate face to face. We shall enjoy the atmosphere of the classroom learning, but we have to wait for some time. Today afternoon, you will receive the student handbook. What is the student handbook? So this student handbook talks about the program structure, the curriculum, rules and regulations, various facilities available in the college. So friends, please go through this handbook, and especially I request parents also to go through this handbook. Today, when we are meeting online, we are meeting virtually. There are pluses and minuses to everything. As we know, most of us are not too pleased, too happy to meet virtually, but we are helpless. But there is an advantage. What is the advantage? If you had come to the campus, I don't think your parents would have joined you. But today I am sure when you are sitting in your homes, your parents also must be sitting with you and attending this particular inaugural function. Generally, in all our functions, we invite chief guests, and it is the privilege of the chief guest to light this auspicious lamp. But because our chief guest is also going to join us online, I had that privilege to light the lamp. So this is another plus point for me because we are meeting online. Friends, today we are going to have with us our chief guest, Ms. Geeta Babaria. She is the Chief Innovation and Technology Officer of a very, very prominent company, Capgemini. Soon she will come and address all of you. As I mentioned about our handbook, and you will get to know everything about this program. Let me tell you in very brief, because in your undergraduate programs you had a different kind of structure and different kind of experiences. When you start your PGDM program, you will have 3 terms in a year. So far you had semester, that is 2 terms in a year. But now you will have 3 terms. So 3 terms first year, 3 terms second year. First term, generally we focus on academics. Not because this time it is online, but even if you are on campus, first term is usually a monsoon period. And in monsoon period, it is difficult to organize different activities. And therefore, in the first term, we generally focus on academics. And second term onwards, apart from academics, there are many activities which are conducted in the campus. And then all of you become part of those activities. Most of these activities are focused on interaction with industry. Many industry people come and they talk to you. Students visit many industries. Also, we organize an outbound camp for all our students, which may get delayed this year only because of this problem. Generally, we conduct that program in the month of October. This year, it may be slightly delayed, maybe in January, because we hope that by that time the situation will be completely normal and all of you will be on campus. So whenever you come on campus, you must participate in all those activities. Today, after this small inaugural function, you are going to witness and participate in an ice-breaking session. The purpose of this ice-breaking session is that all of you know each other, because next 2 years you are going to spend together, and therefore there should be a comfort level, there should be friendship. Therefore, that is the purpose of organizing this particular ice-breaking session. And after ice-breaking session, there will be a sort of training or orientation program on how you can attend online lectures using MS Teams platform. All of you are attending this program also today on MS Teams, but when you attend lectures, you may have to keep in mind few more things, and our faculty trainer will train you today how you can use this MS Teams platform to attend the lectures. And today, after these 3 activities, you can prepare yourself for online lectures from Monday. You also will get the lecture schedule or timetable along with your student handbook. So please study the student handbook as I said, and please also see your lecture schedule. As I said, online lectures are happening throughout the world, right from schools to professional institutions. Not that all of us are enjoying these online lectures, but we can't afford to wait. We can't lose time, and that is why we have to begin. So, like any other institution in the world, we have also decided to begin our lectures and all our activities virtually. Let us pray to Almighty that all of us get rid of this virus, deadly virus, as early as possible, and we are able to meet on the campus. Friends, when you take admission in an MBA program, now I am using term MBA because it is a generic term, but whether you call it PGDM or you call MBA or whatever, we refer to the same thing. So when you take admission to this kind of a professional program, please remember, you will experience different things as compared to what you experienced during your undergraduate programs. This is a professional program. This is not an academic program. Now what is the difference? A professional program focuses on your overall development and not only on the subject knowledge, not only on the academics, but how you can develop professionally, how you can ensure that overall development takes place. You as well as your parents must feel at the end of 2 years that you have become a different person. So how all that will happen? That will not happen only coming to the college and sitting in the classroom and after the lectures are over, going home. What is important? You should love to spend as much time as possible in the college. You must ensure that you make use of all the resources available to you in the college. Because unless and until you make use of those resources, unless and until you participate in the activities which happen outside the classroom, overall development cannot happen. So therefore, you must ensure that you go beyond academics and you focus on your own development. We have a very strong faculty team of 30 full-time faculty members and they are supported by many visiting faculty members. Maybe in next couple of weeks, you will be assigned one faculty member as your mentor. So these mentors look after you nicely. You can talk to them about any of your problems, any of your difficulties, not necessarily only about your academic issues, not necessarily only about your exam related issues, not necessarily only about your placement related issues, but anything and everything under the sky you feel you can talk to your mentor, you should feel free to discuss with your mentor. Again, as soon as the mentor is allotted to you, you should start interacting and you will feel that we are very open. The mentors will give you their email IDs, they will give you their WhatsApp number, they will give you their mobile number. So therefore, the communication will be very free. The flow will be very free. So you will never feel that even though you are not on campus, you are not able to meet your mentors. So therefore, make full use of this mentoring facility. And of course, once you are on campus, you will be able to meet all your mentors personally. And that time also you should make it a point that you make full use of this facility. You already have received an official email ID ending with ies.edu. Now throughout next 2 years, the communication between you and the college will happen through this particular email ID. We will not use anymore your personal email ID. And it is not only because at this point of time we are meeting virtually, therefore the email ID is useful to you. Please remember, even when you come on the campus, the communication is required. Why? At times there may be some changes in the lecture schedule, so you must know about it. A lot of events happen in the college, you must know about it. And there is a whole lot of information which you need to get. So all this is communicated to you through this official email ID. So therefore, start using this particular email ID. Your personal email ID now you can use completely for your personal activities. But as far as your activities in the college are concerned, as far as your communication with the college is concerned, the only the only method of communication will be this email ID ending with ies.edu. You have also been communicated that the complete management of academics in our institute happens through an in-house ERP. It is called AEMS, Advanced Education Management System. With the help of this official email ID, you also get access to this particular software. And through this software, you learn everything. If you want to know what is the attendance performance, because like any other good institution, we also expect that all the students should give minimum 75% of the attendance. So therefore, you can regularly check how is your attendance record. You can check what is happening with your mentor. You can check what is your exam result. You can check the timetable. Of course, timetable and all that is also communicated to you through email. But through AEMS also you can check everything. And I am happy to inform parents, all the parents, we also provide login to this AEMS to all the parents. And therefore, some minimum information about the performance of your children, even you can log in and check. After every term exam, when we declare the result, you yourself can log in and find out what is the result of your son or daughter. So therefore, you don't have to depend completely on your work that they will come and inform you what is the result. Now, generally people may think that these children are mature children and what is the necessity of giving access to the parents. So we are giving access. Using it, not using it is completely your choice. But we have given you the access and you make best use of it. Because in many cases parents feel that children are children, whether they are KG students or PG students. So therefore it is completely a choice of the parent how you make use of this particular facility. Students, most of you, when you go for this kind of a management program, only one thing keeps bothering you. What will happen at the end of these 2 years? That is, in terms of placements. I would like to assure you, and I am sure you also must have seen on the website, the kind of companies visit the college and the kind of jobs are offered to our students. But why I am telling you right on day one about this particular issue? Please focus on your studies. Please focus on all the activities which happen in the college. Please be in touch with your mentor and follow all the instructions and guidelines given to you by your mentor. You should not worry at all about the placements. When you focus on all the activities and academics, placement will happen automatically. You will not even feel that some company is coming on the campus and giving you a job. But if you only keep bothering about placements and lose your focus on activities and academics, then probably you may find things difficult. So therefore, right on day one, I am giving you a very, very important advice that sincerely focus on all the activities and academics. In a professional program like MBA, you don't have to be a very, very intelligent student. But what is required, what is important, you should be very, very sincere and committed students. You will find that if you are regular in your lectures, if you are regularly in touch with your teachers, your faculty members, you will not find your academic content difficult. But what is important, you should be sincere, you should be committed, and the entire work given to you by your teachers, you complete all that. In a professional program like MBA, you don't get certificate only by passing your final examination, but you are assessed throughout the term. And when you are being assessed throughout the term, what is most important? Most important is through your performance, through your conduct, through your behavior, how do you impress your faculty members, your teachers? So if you prove to be a good student, if you prove to be a disciplined student, if you prove to be a well-behaved student, it goes without saying that your faculty members will be happy with you. And that will also help you a lot in performing, because faculty members will have a positive perception about you. So therefore, you should not have any fear in your mind whether I can cope up with the studies, whether I will find it easy or difficult. As I said, you don't have to be very intelligent student, but you have to be very sincere and committed student. So if you could do that, I am sure at the end of these 2 years, you will get very good grades and also a very fantastic job in your home. Friends, with these few words, when you come back on campus, of course, we'll keep meeting. So therefore, today with these few words, once again, I would like to congratulate all of you for securing a seat in IES Management College. And I'm sure these 2 years you will find extremely purposeful, useful, and fruitful. At the end of these 2 years, when you walk out of this institution, you will walk out with flying colors. So, best of luck for your 2 year stay in IES Management College and Research Center. Best of luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Dear students, as sir said, it is a matter of great pride for each one of us to belong to IES, which has completed more than a century of its existence. What is education after all? Education is an investment that the current generation makes in its future. And so, with the beginning of your PGDM program, your parents, we teachers, the entire society, what are we doing? We are making an investment and we are hoping that you take the legacy forward and prove yourself to be responsible students and good citizens who believe in the fundamental values of sustainable living. As the past few months have shown us, sustainability and responsibility are now personal matters which each one of us is responsible for. As our director sir said, an MBA program is not only going to make you academically strong, but we are also here to develop your professional credentials. As the head academics of IES NCRC, it is a great honor for me to introduce to all of you the chief guest for today's program, Ms. Geeta Babaria, the Chief Technology and Innovation Officer of Capgemini. Ms. Babaria is an IT professional with more than 19 years of experience, and of these, more than 10 years have been spent in senior leadership positions. Her specialization areas include IoT, enabling product and service transformation, servicing, crafting, strategy, implementing roadmaps, management consulting, to name a few. She has in-depth understanding of product lifecycle, PLM, digital manufacturing, and successful implementation of new age engineering methodologies like agile design thinking and so on. Ms. Babaria's quality credentials include quality improvement facilitation, audits, defect prevention, process training, metrics facilitation, and Six Sigma initiatives. She is known in Capgemini as a very capable mentor, and she is also a certified lead auditor for ISO. She has worked across sectors like medical, automotive, enterprise, software vendors, healthcare, banking, insurance, manufacturing, and pharmaceuticals. We are indeed privileged to have with us today Ms. Geeta Babaria. Over to you, Geeta ma'am. Please let us know what you think about the new normal and how do you think we should be helping our students to integrate this new normal and prove themselves as capable citizens and professionals of tomorrow. Over to Geeta ma'am.
Very good morning, everyone. Thank you to IES, Meenu, and respected Director Sir for inviting me today to address this inaugural function for PGDM 2021. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here addressing this our next generation or the future leaders, industry leaders of our country. So there were a couple of different items that were mentioned today by Director Sir as well as Meenu, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what the industry expects from you in light of this new normal. Does that change or is it remain same? Does it need to be a little bit more different? What it is? But before I do that, what I'd like to do is give you a little bit idea about my own journey and a few words about myself. As Meenu said, my current role is that of India CTIO, which is Chief Technology and Innovation Officer for emerging technologies. And my role is to enable development of high quality innovative solutions using these emerging technologies across the product value chain. Now, you might feel that this particular sentence itself has so many different jargon, so many different words. But as you go through your next 2 years of MBA, you'll probably come across and understand what it means, what value chain means, what product development means, what innovative solution means, what is the focus on innovation, and how are we going to leverage some of the new age technologies and emerging technologies with the domain knowledge of each of these particular domains to kind of improve R&D operations, to kind of create products in a regulated industry. When I say regulated industry, what I'm essentially focusing about, Meenu referred to industries like medical devices, aerospace, industrial automation. All of these industries build products which, before you can use, have to undergo a lot of checks and balances. There are agencies and bodies within India, outside India, which take a very close look at how these products are being developed before they can be consumed by people. Let's talk a little bit about the new normal that we're talking about, right? One of the biggest things that we are struggling with this in 2020 is the COVID virus, the pandemic, right? And right now we are focusing on developing a vaccine. We are trying to develop and push through into the market the new tests, the serological tests, the antibody tests, the antigen tests. So all of these tests that you can use to detect the virus, right? They had to be developed by someone, they had to be released into the market, but you cannot release a product into the market unless until it gets approved by the regulatory authorities, right? So that is where it is extremely important to understand how we can bring together people, teams in diverse areas, in diverse technologies, diverse skill set, to kind of pull together, not just solve that particular problem, create a solution, get it validated, get it approved, and then push it to market, right? So the impact of a faulty solution, releasing a faulty kind of a vaccine or a faulty test into the market can be very, very damaging. So that is what my role is all about. I work with various particular industries, various particular product leaders in kind of creating, in seeing how you can leverage the existing or the new emerging technologies and combine it with the domain knowledge or the functional knowledge, and to kind of solve the current problems and get those particular solutions to market. So Meenu also talked a little bit about the new normal. So which are the new technologies that we are referring to? I'm sure since all of you have got admission to this prestigious college and a prestigious course for PGDM, you have gone through some amount of background in either science, commerce, or arts, or whichever areas that you have been. But irrespective of whichever area that you worked on or got your classical education in, you could not have remained untouched by some of these new technology trends and words, right? We're talking about artificial intelligence, we're talking about machine learning, we're talking about blockchain, we're talking about cloud, we're talking about remote functioning. Today's event would not have been possible without some of all of these technologies coming together, right? Director sir referred to certain technologies. He said, yeah, you will have mentors, you will have access to WhatsApp, you'll have access to a platform, your parents will be able to access the platform, you'll be able to attend lectures while kind of staying at home. While this may seem a little new to you, while we do place a premium on face-to-face interactions, but let me tell you from a personal experience, I have done my MBA from IIM, and it was an executive program, which meant that my campus time was limited to just a couple of months. Rest of the time was spent in remote classrooms, attending lectures, somewhat similar to this webinar, interacting with my professors, with my mentors from various parts of the world, while sitting at home and while working in college. So once you get familiar with the technology and leveraging of this technology, and once you use your put on your creative thinking hats, and once you put on your problem solving hat, you will realize that the new normal that Meenu was referring to is here to stay, and it is going to be enabled by technologies. But does that really change what is it that the corporates or the industries are expecting from management graduates? Does that really change what I am going to look for in people when I recruit them into my team, or what others in the industry are going to look at when they recruit somebody from their industry for their openings? Probably not. So I'm going to focus a little bit over the next 15-20 minutes talking about what are the key things that we look for, and what is the bottom line, and what can you do to be more prepared for kind of entering the corporate world, and how you can make the best use of these 2 years, the access to the mentors, the access to the knowledge base, the access to the experience from other people, and the more than 100 years of history that that IES has. It has an alumni, it has a rich history, it has an alumni body, it has experiences. So my suggestion is you please leverage and build on that experience over the next 2 years to make sure that when you come out and are ready to join the industry, you know what is expected from you and are ready to kind of fulfill or exceed those expectations. So what do we look for in management graduates? So essentially, I would say it focuses on behavioral competencies, personality traits, functional competencies, and knowledge base. So if I were to kind of summarize it in an acronym, and when you go through 2 years of MBA, you'll realize that corporate world is full of jargons and acronyms, and one of the value that MBA seems to when graduates or people who come out of MBA seem to kind of be very adept at is using a lot of jargons and using a lot of acronyms. What I'm going to try and do today is to stay away from jargon, stay away from acronyms, because more clearly you communicate, the better effective results you get, right? So the 3 key things that I'm kind of looking at, I would say I would summarize it as KSA, or knowledge, skills, and attitude. Skills is essentially your how-tos of the role, the capabilities that can be transferred or trained from one individual to another, from one team to another. Knowledge is the basis on which I may have to build skills. What you are aware of, what factual things that you know, what can be taught, and what you can pick up. And a lot of part of knowledge which is much more difficult to transmit is experiential knowledge. what you have picked up along the way. When people say I'm adept at connecting dots, that is what they're referring to. You may have picked up 2 or 3 different particular piece of information, data items at different places, and your ability to connect the dots and come up with something that a new understanding is the part that kind of that is where the knowledge comes in. So knowledge is much less tangible and it is much more harder to teach. I can actually give you a crash course in what the procedure is, what the standard operating procedure is, what the theory behind it is, but unless and until you internalize that information, it really does not convert into knowledge. So the journey that you will encounter while working in corporates, while when you some of the different roles that were mentioned, like data scientist or somebody else, that journey essentially is going to be of moving, collecting data, transforming data into information, and transforming that information into knowledge, and converting that knowledge into wisdom. So we'll be talking a little bit about some of these things later on, but right now I'd like to move on to the third major aspect, which is very, very important, which is the attitude. How do we define attitude? I mean, I'm sure you must have heard people say things like, oh, he's got a very positive attitude, or oh he's a very negative attitude, or he can he is a very introverted person, or he is a very extroverted person. So attitude essentially comprises of your mindset, your point of view, your viewpoints, and belief system. It is something that defines your personality. It is essentially your mindset and approach to life and how you go through life, right? So while knowledge and skills can be acquired or transferred, or you can train someone, attitude is something that is inherent to a person, and it evolves over a period of time. I'm not saying that attitudes cannot be learned, but learning new attitudes or kind of changing one's attitude is a little bit more difficult. So if given a choice, if I had to choose someone between a highly qualified person, a highly skilled person with a poor attitude, and somebody with little or no skills but a great attitude, I generally lean towards somebody who has a great attitude, because skills can be taught. Okay. Now, we did talk about what is the general expectation that industry has. What are the key things that you need to focus on, and do these things change in the new normal? I would say the focus may become a little bit more on some of these competencies, but let's first of all look at what am I looking for when I hire a management graduate. When somebody comes to me for an interview, what am I looking at? As I said earlier, it essentially boils down to those 3 things: skills, knowledge, and attitude. So knowledge part of it is more of the functional competency. How adept are you? How expert are you? How good, what knowledge and discipline on specializations do you have in the area of your choice? You may kind of go ahead and select sales and marketing, you may select HR, you may select IT and operations. So if you have selected sales and marketing, do you know what the product composition is? You know what the marketing strategy is? Do you know what the difference between sales and marketing is? These are the basics, right? When I'm hiring somebody for as a sales manager or as an IT strategist, then that person should know what that IT is all about, right? You should have specific skills like selling skills or negotiation skills or change management skills, which brings me to the very important aspect about the attitude part of it, right? Which is attitude. We said it kind of comprises of your belief system, your viewpoint, and essentially it's a manifestation of your soft skills and behavioral competencies, right? So what am I looking at when I'm kind of hiring somebody from a behavioral perspective? I've kind of listed a lot of different things here, and these will seem like a laundry list of skills, but they're really think if you really look at them and group them, they're not. They're all kind of interrelated. The first particular most important aspect, since I said I'm kind of addressing a group of future leaders. Please note, I did not say managers, I said leaders. Each of you is going to has the opportunity to become a leader that can change the world, right? So very first thing that I look for is the leadership quality, the leadership, the adaptability, the flexibility to kind of overcome the challenges presented by any given scenario. How do you think the organizations who have not been able to adapt or change survived across ages, right? We talked about IES has been around for 100 years. So do you think IES has survived by remaining same, by not kind of adapting or not adopting new technologies or new ways of working? IES has evolved, it has survived for more than 100 years or thrived for more than 100 years because of adaptability. Even today, the program that I'm addressing is a huge example of surviving due to adaptability, right? And this has been enabled by a problem solving approach and innovative approach to kind of solving this particular problem. That kind of, but how, where did these come from? That has come from being able to take a strategic view and an analytical approach to problem solving. That brings us to planning and organizing, or being able to effectively plan and organize various particular aspects, right? But how are we going to achieve all of this? Unless and until we understand what are the needs of my customer, right? So in this case, my customer, in this case, the customer for IES management is the students, the parents body, the teachers, the faculty members. Each of these particular stakeholder groups has different needs. And by putting in place the programs, the platform, the technology, and the mentoring part of it, we are trying to address what we anticipate as the needs for our end customers, right? So customer orientations, being able to make sure that our teams are happy and teams are kind of thriving and working well, as well as the result orientation, right? Everything that I'm going to achieve, it's not on a whim or a fancy. At the end of the day, a corporate values results. So result orientation is also equally important. Then comes the development aspect of it. Again, adaptability and surviving in this particular age, or kind of thriving in this particular age, requires constant development. So while you may think I've spent 15 years in studying, I spent time in school, I've spent time doing my masters, I've spent time doing my engineering, or I've spent doing my undergraduate program, now I've done my postgraduate program, I've spent so much of things, now my development is over, I've learned everything that I can. The moment you think that, it is the end of the road. Please understand that while you are starting on a journey today, the development journey is going to be an ongoing one. Those who can continue to learn and evolve are the ones who kind of do well in the corporate world. So it's not just about developing oneself, it's also about growing, it's also growing your team and developing others. And that kind of brings me to the point where we talked about a lot of soft skills and other things, right? We talked about attitude, but interpersonal skills, team skills, being a self-starter, being motivated, having that dedication and commitment directors are talked about, right? That if you focus too much on where am I going to get placed, which particular job will I get, that's not really going to help. Right now, you need to be committed, you need to be dedicated to the learning journey over the next 2 years to kind of behaving well. So all of these competencies that I talked about today, you will get a chance to kind of demonstrate these competencies, develop these competencies, hone your skills over the next 2 years when you engage in various activities, when you kind of work with your mentors, when they kind of guide you, when you kind of have a role model and kind of start adapting. And for achieving all of this, one of the key aspects is the small phrase called EQ. What does EQ mean? Here I'm essentially talking about emotional quotient. So essentially knowing what, being mature about know yourself, have being self-aware, being able to work well with others. EQ is a very vast topic, but if you focus on kind of improving your EQ, the rest of the things will follow and you will be able to groom yourselves further. So these are the general expectations, and most of the time when I kind of interview, or most of the time if you look at any research or anything, you will find that people come armed out of colleges with a lot of theoretical knowledge but not enough practical knowledge, or they are not enough focus on behavioral competencies, or not enough understanding of how what they have done will be applicable, what is the practical application of kind of that knowledge and how will it be used for solving problems. So the bottom line is you will need various competencies, you'll get an opportunity to hone these competencies, but you need to make sure that you have a very positive attitude and you kind of keep learning, keep honing yourselves, keep kind of looking at a problem from a different perspective so that you can work well. So the bottom line is, when I'm kind of talking about asking someone or recruiting someone, the key questions that need to be answered, for me at least, is can you do the job? Are you competent enough? And competency is a factor of some of those particular factors that we talked about earlier. Even if you are very competent, if you are not motivated enough, if you are not eager enough to do the job, then that competence is of no use to me. So my first checkpoint is, are you able to do the job? Then, are you willing to do the job? And most importantly, will you fit in? Will you work well with the rest of the team and rest of the organization? That is the key aspects, and these aspects are again driven by the three things that we talked about earlier, right? The knowledge, the skill, and attitude. So what is it that you can do to prepare for working in the new normal? While I said competency is important, that is my first checkpoint. So focus on becoming competent. Focus on gaining the theoretical knowledge, understanding why, and then focus on getting exposed to the real particular use cases or real industry. And that is where studying in an institute like IES and working with mentors and the teachers of IES becomes so much more important. They are your bridge to the industry. They are going to teach you what you're going to learn using various case studies and using the real life world examples. It's not just theoretical knowledge, right? But as they say, hindsight is always 2020, right? When you look back at something, it's always easier to figure out what you can do and how you can do it, but that does not mean that you cannot learn from it. And most importantly, focus on your personality development as well. How is it that you're going to be able to do this? You do more projects, more summer and winter internships, you attend more trainings, join part-time job if you have time, be flexible. And when I say part-time job, it does not necessarily, now that we are in a lockdown, there are different particular job opportunities which you can do from home, where you can kind of take risks. You have to be flexible. Don't turn down any job. One of the advice that I've often given to management graduates, if you want to understand what customer service and customer satisfaction is all about, go and take a part-time job in a quick service restaurant like McDonald's or KFC, right? People behind those desks, people manning those desks, get exposed to customers, get exposed to people, wide variety of people, and it teaches you a lot. So that is why I'm saying that be flexible, take a part-time job. Nobody is going to kind of tell you that, oh, you took an internship with XYZ corporation. Why did you take an internship with the McDonald's or some one of these other particular quick service restaurant? That is a way of kind of gaining new experiences and looking at life from different particular perspective, and an ability to apply all those particular skills that you are acquiring in your 2 years MBA. Be flexible, participate in various college activities, become a part of the managing committee, or become a part of that organizing committee that organizes various festivals, become a part of the committee that kind of does a placement and outreach program, participate in conferences, present at different conferences, participate in various industry events, go and meet industry people. But most importantly, in this new normal, don't be afraid to be curious. Keep your creativity alive, keep your curiosity alive. Challenge the normal, challenge the existing particular thing. Try, understand, go beyond the state, the basic facts that are put out there. I'm not looking for somebody who can recite off every particular theory boxes. I'm more interested in somebody who's able to take that theory and apply it to come up with a new solution. So be curious, be adventurous, be bold, take risks, take measured risks, think out of the box, right? So, and that is so use this particular time to be courageous and embark on a very exciting and exhilarating learning journey ahead. Make most of this 2 years time that you have with your mentors, your teachers, with the theory books, and experiment. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Geeta Babaria. That was indeed very insightful. Knowledge, skills, and attitudes indeed decide what sort of a professional each one of our students will turn out to be. My dear students, the last 4 months have shown us many things. Among them, one is the possibility to do anything that you want to. Because all possibilities are open now. The world out there is like fresh clay. As a capable potter, whatever shape you want to give to this clay, right now, all possibilities are open. The environment is recalibrating. The world itself is learning the new normal. And there is a paradigm shift as far as the known ways of living and working are concerned. Geeta ma'am, thank you so much for sharing your experience and for setting the tone for the new journey that each of our students will take from today. So dear students, congratulations for your new identity. To all our students of IES NCRC from today, and a new life awaits you. From Monday, as we start our online classes, a beautiful chapter of your life opens. As we come to the end of this formal function, my heartfelt gratitude to all the people who made this function possible. Thanks to IES management, the faculty, the staff for their kind cooperation. Thank you, Ms. Geeta Babaria, for your precious time and for the pains which you took to put up such a beautiful presentation. Even for a fraction of a second, we did not get the feeling that we were not seeing you face to face. So that is the power of technology. Dear students and dear parents, thank you so much for your time and your attention. Students, kindly remember that we have a lot of more activities signed up for you for the remaining part of the day. as we close this meeting, if you check your mailboxes, you will find 2 more links. At 12:30 sharp, kindly log in to the ice-breaking session, and then at 2 o'clock, we will give you an orientation on MS Teams so that on Monday, when you start your first class, the transition will be smooth. As Director Sir has said, these online classes are temporary. As per government directives, we will be shifting to the campus, and all of us are very eager to shift to the campus. But then, in the intervening period, let us make the most of this opportunity. Never again will you get this chance to sit with your parents or with your siblings and attend classes. Maybe it will add a fresh perspective to the class. Maybe it will give you a better understanding of some aspect which you had never thought of. To make the most of this journey, thank you, Geeta ma'am, once more. Thanks to the technical team, the management, the staff, the admissions team, the faculty, and all the students and parents once more. We come to the end of this formal session of inauguration. Congratulations to each one of us for having started PGDM and PGDM PM 2020-22 on a very high note. Thank you so much. We will end this meeting now. Kindly join the new link at 12:30.